Good to see you guys. Yeah.
See you in person.
Yeah, we say good to see you, coach. That's how we do it. Well, Jason, good to see you guys.
Any reaction to that one?
You asking me?
Max, you can start. Yeah, it was a little strange.
Well, I would say this first, just for some context. Todd Archer of ESPN, who covers the Cowboys, said that he tweeted when everyone was like, "Oh, he just said call me coach." People were focusing on "Don't call me Jason, call me coach. I deserve the respect" type thing. And what Todd Archer said is, it makes me think that was maybe taken out of context.
Right.
Like he was saying, he says good morning apparently to the press in Dallas anyway, he did this, and then he expected the press to greet him with the same kind of enthusiasm. And if they didn't, he would repeat it until they did. So when they said, "Oh, good morning," he was saying, around here we say, "Good morning, coach," right? But the emphasis is not call me coach, it's like, give me it back. I'm giving you the energy. Give it back to me.
Like you say good morning, you should say good morning back.
Yeah, but guys, let's say he does want to be called coach. Is it that hard to call a dude coach who's the coach of the team? Like some people may be, he's not my coach. I don't have to call him coach. No, you don't have to. That's true. But if it means something to someone, if they really are proud of the position of coach and they respect it that way, is it so hard to respect that they feel that way and call him coach too? Does it really demean you to do it? I don't have a problem with it.
Well, Max.
I know what we should be calling this guy right here next to me.
Well, I'm
in the
go ahead,
studio
Steve.
now, how about we call you champ? You like that?
Yeah, well,
Good morning, champ.
Well, you
Two-time
do
Super Bowl champion Damon Woody here.
Yeah, you do need to recognize that I am a champion. There's no question about that. And Stephen A., wherever he is, he better recognize that I'm a two-time Super Bowl champion as well. But I'm going to let Stephen A. go ahead and speak on what Max just talked about.
Well, you are a champ. You are a champion. I've never failed to recognize that, nor have I failed to treat you like that. I just let you know on first take, there's a proper attire. There's a dress code that you sometimes don't honor. And just because you're a champion don't mean you get to violate that. And don't interrupt me again. Now here's the deal.
Wait, Stephen A., he does not have a tie on. Wait a minute, I need to know. He's got a suit. He got a suit jacket and a shirt, but no tie. Does that count?
I'm pleased today. It's all right. But let me say this. Getting back to what you said, Max, I will recall on a serious note, fellas, years ago, one of the things that made Howard Cosell so famous, God rest his soul, was when he was interviewing Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali had changed his name from Cassius Clay, and there were people in the media that didn't want to recognize that and didn't want to call him that, and he refused to acknowledge them unless they acknowledged him by his name. And Howard Cosell was one of the first, if not the first, to say, "I apologize, that's your name. You have the right to be called what you want. And if that's your name, that is your name." And so that went a long way with Muhammad Ali, obviously, which you can speak to more than me, Max, but I will say this to you. Whether it's Jason Garrett, whether it's primetime Deion Sanders, who made noise weeks ago and walked out of a press conference because they called him Deion or they called him Prime, it's not easy to become a coach. And when you accomplish and you achieve that title, more importantly, when you recognize other coaches who have established themselves in that business and they're acknowledged as coaches, you know what? If that's what they want to be called, they deserve to be called that out of sheer respect. You don't just walk through the door and become a coach for the most part, unless you're Steve Nash, of course, with the Brooklyn Nets, because that's what happened with him. But for the most part, that's not what you do. You have to work, and you have to work your way up the ladder and earn an opportunity to ultimately gain that title. And once you do that, there is no one in the media that has a right to call you anything else if it's important enough for you to make sure they recognize the fact that you want to be coach, because they certainly call other people coaches. Now, if you didn't do that with anybody else, you'd have a different argument. But in all my years of being a journalist, which now spans more than a quarter century, I have never encountered a coach, okay, that was in front of the media, and the media did not call him coach if that's what they wanted to be called. Every person in the media has shown coaches that respect throughout generations. And it is nobody's right in the media to sit up there and ignore that now because it's prime time or because it's Jason Garrett or anybody else. If they are a coach and that's what they want to be called, coach, that's what you call
Stephen
them.
A., real
coach.
quick, Damien, I think you have the right to do it. it's not like Muhammad Ali changed his name for religious beliefs and it's kind of disrespect. But it's rude. It's just rude. If that's the tradition and they want to be called that and you refuse to do it, you're obstinate, it's rude. You're being rude.
Their name is Coach Sanders, Coach Garrett, or whatever. They've earned that right. And Jason Garrett is a former coach of the Cowboys. And even I would call him Coach Garrett. Coach. Because he's a coach.
Yeah, well, listen, I think, just speaking on the Jason Garrett thing, context matters, and I think a lot of writers spoke on that it wasn't basically people trying to blow it up more than what it should have been, and Max, you spoke on that. But as a former player who's been involved in athletics most of his life, I guess I've just been ingratiated in the culture in athletics where it doesn't even matter if it's football, basketball, baseball. I always address a coach as, "Hey, coach."
Fun to say. It's a fun word to say. What's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, for me, it's not a big deal. I just look at it, you've elevated yourself to a certain status, and so I'm going to give you that respect that you deserve in that, in this particular environment, and I'm going to address you as coach.
That goes for high school coaches. It goes for any coach.
Yeah,
It's just kind of like commonplace. It just rolls naturally off the tongue, too. It's not like something you think about. It's like, oh, coach, hey, coach.
Right.
Okay, well, let's keep
just
it
like
moving.
you call Damian champ. You just say, "Hey, champ."
That's
and
it.
by the way, welcome back to the studio. I saw on Twitter, first time since what?
Since 2020, since last year. So, stepped in the studio.
back.
I had to make sure my shoes was good and everything. So
I'm glad to see him back in studio because I was getting tired of seeing that damn piano behind him. You understand? Like he's Mozart or somebody. I mean, it's nice to see him back in studio.
Beethoven over here.
Looking like a football analyst. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Stephen, let me tell you something. When you come back from wherever you are getting facials and all this other stuff that you're doing, wherever you in that. Oh, okay. Now you want to humble brag? I'm in LA. I might import the piano right here in First Take and just start playing right here in studio. Okay, because I got that type of clout.
At least you're making the house.
You ain't got the clout to bring no damn piano in studio. No, you don't.
Okay.
Try.
Well, you know the producer assembling a baby grand right now. Stephen A. said that.
I'm a champion.
Let's keep it moving.
Called you
Max,
Mozart.
I want to ask you right now, who's your favorite at this point to win the NFC East?
Look, I'm a Giants fan. You could take this with a whole mine of salt. I don't give a damn because I also believe it. The New York Football Giants are my favorite to win the East. They had an awful offensive line last year. Daniel Jones relies on his mobility and in his second year had a bum leg. They had no Saquon Barkley. No Saquon Barkley. They won 6 games. They won the same number of games, 6 or 7. They were right in the thick of things with the Cowboys and all of them. Now, what did they do? Their offensive line should be better. Saquon is back. Daniel Jones' leg is healed. They signed receivers. They have weapons everywhere you look. No, their offense will not be as good as the Cowboys, but it'll be better than Washington, probably better than the Eagles. No, their defense won't be as good as Washington, but it'll be better than the Cowboys, probably better than the Eagles. They're the most well-rounded team in the division, and they're going to win it.
Defense wins championships, specifically in the postseason, obviously. I don't know if it wins that many games for you during the regular